Good morning, you guys. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Come on in. It's the time of day where we all gather, us girls, and we have a little bit of a powwow and we just chat about all things insulin resistance because it's like the sexiest topic ever. But like Alonia said yesterday, when we were talking about magnesium, she said, magnesium is sexy to me. So, you never know, right? What everybody's excited about. So welcome in, you guys. My name is Kirsten Liebelt and I am in Minnesota in the States. And I basically never saw this coming. I never saw this coming. I was raised in an Italian family. My dad was 100% Italian. My mother, 100% Swedish. So my dad used to call us his little suegos, which is really hilarious because as a child, I just remember him saying that, like, these are my little suegos. And the adults, I'd be looking up at the adults and the adults were like, oh, ha, ha, ha. They'd be laughing. I had no idea why they would be laughing. Because of course I had no idea that that a derogatory life existed. Like, I'm a kid, right? So anyway, we were his little suegos. And, so I was raised with a family that was filled with food and fun and laughter, and then food, and then food, and then food. And there was a ton of obesity and a ton of type 2 diabetes in my family. And I feel like I just grew up thinking, number one, it was genetics. Okay, Sarah, whatever was going to happen is what was going to happen. And number two, I really did believe that, that should be my identity. My identity should be obese because that's what was modeled to me. Anytime we got together with the Italian family, like anywhere, it was, my dad's aunts, my great aunts were morbidly obese. And I felt like maybe that was just normal, right? Like I didn't know any different. Nobody was talking about insulin resistance, number one. Nobody was talking about how you can turn it around, number two. And certainly nobody was talking about the fact that you could actually get like a couple keys to your universe and then change the way that your body is responding to anything. Like nobody's talking about any of that. So having said that, I just had to decide on my own after I was gestational diabetic with my first baby. And then I was hypoglycemic with my second baby. And then at 50, I was a 2X in size. But I do want you to know that the reason why I come on with such like passion and opinion, and it's really not all my opinion. I grab third-party resources for y'all. But why I'm so passionate is because I feel like my wake-up call was, I don't understand why nobody's telling me any of this. Like when I had pre-diabetic put in my chart, why did nobody sit down and talk to me about anything? And I don't mean to push blame. I really don't, because like I have to be responsible for my own world. Like nobody else gained the weight. I gained the weight. Nobody else was addicted to sugar. I was addicted to sugar. It's nobody's fault. It was my responsibility, right? But when you go to the medical community and you expect at the very least, at the very minimum, at the very base foundation, that they would have conversations with you proactively, like we think this in our head that this is how it goes, but that's not how it goes literally at all. I'm being dramatic. Most of the time, it's not everybody. But when it doesn't go that way, then we're kind of left going, well, then what was the point? What was the point of all of these annual checkups? What was the point of having my physical? What was the point of having my labs done? What was the point if nobody was going to actually talk to me about anything anyway until it fell over the edge and needed meds? I mean, this might not be a true world, but I feel like this is our perspective of the world. I know I'm not alone. You're like, what the heck? Like, weren't you put in place to protect me? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to say hi to a few people because I can see people jumping on. My friends are here. My friends are here and I'm so excited. So good morning. Hello, Peggy. Good morning. Back after our visitors left for home. Oh, Peggy, it's good to see you. I hope you had a good time. I know the weather wasn't exactly maybe what you wanted it to be. Jackie, good morning. Barb from Ontario. My Canadian friends, listen, if you ever need anything, I don't say this enough, so I apologize that I have to like bring it up. But if you need anything from me, like when we talk on these days and you're from Canada, please reach out to me. I have a Canadian link. Okay. Good morning, Patty, sweet lady. Good to see you. Good morning, Sue. Oh my gosh, everybody's here. Good morning, Susan. Good morning. Good morning. Did I miss anybody else? Okay. I will wait for people to say good morning. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of where my brain is this morning. I'm definitely like, I'm a little feisty today. I'm a little feisty. Can you tell? It's just that it really ticks me off. And it's funny because we've been doing this Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. for 2 years. And we've been doing the free challenge inside of the group for 2.5 years. And I'm not less feisty. I'm more feisty. And I think the reason is because it just still like, I cannot believe nothing is being like turning around. Carmel, good morning. Luana, good morning. Good to see you. Geraldine from Missouri. Oh, you guys, you're so faithful. So basically this is where I was when I started, just so that people know, because I know that I have new eyes on content all the time. Pre-diabetic, my dad had already died at 63 from type 2 diabetes when I was 30. So this is my before picture. I was a 2X in size. And so just to bring you my own receipts of what has happened. Good morning, Deborah. She says, good morning, Kirsten and friends. Mary. Yes, we have a health sick system. They only address when you are sick. No education or prevention to help before you get sick. Mary, it's what drives me every day to get on and talk to you guys. Telling you, it's mind boggling. And I feel like the added layer for me now, I'm just going to tell you, the added layer is that I live in Minnesota, home of the Mayo Clinic. And nobody was more shocked or unnerved than I was. I'm sure I'm being dramatic again. When my mother ended up with dementia, this was, she had it, we just didn't know it. She moved out of her home December of 2017. And then shortly after, my brother was in the system at the same time, and they both went through the system together for a couple of years. And then my brother died. And then my mother was still there. They were both type 2, by the way. But I was shocked at the healthcare system. And I feel like that was the layer of wake up for me. I came out after my mom died and I'm like, I am so done with this system. I was really mad. And thus now we have a couple of years doing this. So there you go. Marla, good morning. All so excited. You slept through the night, Marla. Woohoo! You guys, that is amazing. Marla, what do you contribute that to? What did you do differently? That is so good. Deborah. Okay, I already saw that. Okay, that's awesome. Just found me this week. You're from Indiana. It is so nice to meet you. Welcome, welcome. It is so nice to meet you. That is so good. Hi, Linda. Oh my gosh, we're like having a real party. Everybody grab your coffee, grab your tea. I've got my water with my aminos. Let's go. Let's go. Let's have a party. Okay, so that was my before picture. This is my before and after. So once I understood in my 50s as a 2X in size, pre-diabetic, I understood. Well, I came to understand through study. Like I studied a lot of Maria Emmerich and a lot of people. And today we're going to talk about PCOS and that connection. So if that is for you or somebody you know, like listen up, but then I will answer questions and we'll hang out for a while. When your insulin is high, you cannot burn fat. And when your liver is sluggish, you cannot burn fat. And this is not a genetic conversation. I understand there are predispositions, but in my opinion, which is not a doctor's opinion, it's a joke. Like this is totally turnaroundable and everybody needs to hear that. So I ended up losing with that information and understanding. I lost 3 sizes in my 50s. Okay. And I've kept it off. And the primary conversation is I kept it off. Never, ever, ever, ever before in my entire 50 years. And I probably started dieting. I know I was bribed to diet at about 11, but I think I was really pudgy and overweight starting at 9. But we'll just go by 11, okay? So let's just say 10. Let's go in between 10 to 50. For 40 years, I never once, not once, lost weight and kept it off. Until now. and I'm 61. It has nothing to do with your age. It has nothing to do with the fact that you are perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. Yes, it's all a thing like our hormones, but insulin is the primary hormone. So like, let's nail this. Let's nail this. Let's nail this. Okay, very good. Coffee in hand, Mary. Let's go. Deborah says, congratulations, Marla. We like it when people are sleeping. They don't train our docs to find root cause of issues. So true. This is what we're doing, root cause conversation. They push pills that create more issues and make the system millions. I know. You have to research and be your own advocate. Yes, you do, Mary. We need to teach our kids about good nutrition and exercise. Yes, we do. I have a business associate last night. So in our business team, I have a business associate that I was talking to last night, and she is in her 40s, and she's starting to do like video content with her and her little girl, who is maybe about 9 or 10, doing exercising. And I'm like, yes, like these are the things that I want to pass on to my grandbabies too. When I get together with my grandchildren who are 5, 3, almost 2 and newborn, I want to have that impact. I don't want to be the Nona that's sick all the time and that is on meds and has to go to the doctor's appointments and the this, and I feel like crap, and then we can't travel, and it's really deep inside of me, you guys. My dad was sick his entire life because of type 2 not taken care of well. From 35 diagnosis to 63 dead. That was my dad's lifespan. That was my memory of my dad. I was born when he was diagnosed, and then I was 30 when he died. Like that. He was diagnosed maybe 2 years before I was born. My entire life, when I say my entire life, I'm not being like dramatic. My entire life was my dad being diabetic. He was a business owner in Minneapolis, and every vacation that we took, even though we rarely ever did take a vacation because he couldn't walk away from his brick and mortar business. Why do you think I do online social retail? Little hint for you there, little like insight into my brain. I did not want a brick and mortar building. I wanted to do online sales. I wanted to do online community. I wanted to do social retail. Of course, that wasn't a thing when I started, but I'm just saying, like, I just didn't want to do that because every single time he would work so hard to be able to leave his brick and mortar building, worried that somebody was going to steal from him or do whatever. We would go on vacation and he would be freaking sick. Literally every single time. He would have something with his dental stuff because of his diabetes. His inflammation was so high. He had periodontal disease. Maybe he was on kidney dialysis, and we would have to go find a dialysis center for him. Or every single time, it was never normal. So these things that I talk to you about, they come from a place of from my childhood that really bugged me, and I decided I'm going to be the opposite. I'm going to be the opposite. Okay, you chose not to take this particular med and you feel like you can breathe again. So many really bad side effects. Okay, very, very good. That's how you start to sleep. Magnesium glycinate. Perfect, Marla. Perfect. I'm so glad. Fix your sleep. All right, so basically, this is where we're starting with our conversation today. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the insulin resistance PCOS conversation, because so many people have actually requested that I talk about this, and maybe it's been a long time. If we've ever done a live about PCOS, it's been a really long time. And remember, I'm not the doctor, right? So I love pulling from people like Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Kiltz, people that are, Dr. Kiltz is actually a fertility doctor out of New York. And he's a very animal-based diet person. He teaches animal-based, and he helps women reverse their infertility and get pregnant because of this kind of a conversation, because of the conversation of insulin. I know everybody wants to say that, never mind, I'm not going to go down that road. That's very controversial, but animal-based is a very lovely way to fuel your body and your hormones with proper fats and with proper dense nutrition, very dense nutrition. They never listened. And if they did, they sent you to a 12-year-old nutritionist. You just didn't get it. Who just didn't get it? Susan, that is so true. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Carrie. Well, good morning. It's nice to meet you or see you, Carrie. I think you are a different Carrie than what I'm thinking, but it's really nice to meet you. Shannon, I know that's so sad about your dad, but you're helping people through talking about him. I know. And you know what? It's like, it ticks me off just enough. So this is probably really good and helpful. Anyway, okay, let's dive in now. Remember, if you have questions, let me know that you have questions and I will come back and see who I'm chatting with. And I did add a couple of, I'm working on my bot system because I'm so fancy like that. So that I have a friend who's a bot that can give instant information. And I'm working on it right now. This morning, I was working on it with Instagram. So for Instagram, I have some things like where you can drop a word and get instant information because maybe you don't want to wait around for me too. Because when I get off of my live, I go back to my Facebook lives. I have 2 Facebook pages, right? I go back and I look through the comments and I see who needed information on whatever we were talking about. And then I answer you. But if I can automate some of that and people can get faster information, it may or may not help you. We'll see. So PCOS after 40s, why it's really an insulin problem. Telling you, it's interesting that people are requesting this. This tells me that it's the history and they're trying to connect maybe their history with it to understand because PCOS, perimenopause, belly fat, it's kind of all a thing. It's all connected. It's all connected, right? So if you've ever been told that you have PCOS or you know somebody who has, but no one ever explained why you can't lose weight, this live is for you, okay? So if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. If you're on YouTube, will you hit subscribe if this is information that is beneficial for you? Or if you're on Instagram or Facebook, just hit the like button. Every time you guys comment, like, or whatever, it goes out to more people. But maybe you've never been diagnosed. Maybe you never did get the diagnosis, right? But you have stubborn belly fat. Possibly you have facial hair, thinning hair, maybe a lot of cravings and cycles that were always off in the past. Go back into your mind where your cycle's always off. And again, facial hair, belly fat, thinning hair, cravings. Okay. What if I told you that PCOS is not just an ovary problem? And PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome or ovarian syndrome. Okay, that's what PCOS is. So this is the whole female conversation. So it's an insulin problem. Like, how did we get there? How did we make that jump, right? So polycystic ovary syndrome, but the cysts are a symptom. They're not the root. So anybody who's had cysts, that wasn't the root of the conversation. Okay. So according to Dr. Mark Hyman, let's get some third-party resources going. PCOS is a metabolic disorder first. Reproductive disorder second. Dr. Ken Berry says most women with PCOS have insulin resistance whether or not they are overweight. Did you know you don't have to be overweight to be insulin resistant? And Dr. Kiltz, who is a fertility specialist, high insulin drives high testosterone in women with PCOS. That's the facial hair. Okay. So high insulin leads to ovaries making more testosterone, which leads to ovulation becoming irregular, which leads to weight gain worsens, and then that cycle continues. Okay. So if you are right at that 40 mark, this is definitely, you're like waking up right now. You're like having an aha moment right now because you're like, oh my gosh, that's where my cycle was in my 30s. And I've always wondered why I'm plucking hairs off my chin or whatever. Or maybe you're in your 40s and you're perimenopausal and you're like, oh my stars, possibly this is why everything is so exacerbated with my hormones in my 40s. That was me. Now, I did not have infertility issues. Praise the Lord. Like I look back and I wonder why, but okay, I didn't. So this is great. But when I did hit my mid 40s, that perimenopause moment, not understanding anything about insulin resistance, I went upside down hard. Remember, 20 years prior, I had been gestational diabetic with my first baby. Second baby was I was hypoglycemic. So I was already insulin resistant in my 20s. Fast forward 20 years to being in my mid 40s, and my perimenopause went crash. My brain fog was like off the charts. My inability to multitask was just downright embarrassing. It was hard, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know any connection. I didn't have any understanding. All I knew was that I didn't want to be the crazy person anymore. Now, you may be long past some of this, and that's okay, but you still have the ability to go back and go, oh, this solidifies even further why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Because had I known that, sure, I could have done that, but I didn't. So now I know better. I do better. I'm going to do this a little differently now. Okay. So this is how this goes. Why it gets worse after 40. So are we all after 40? Most of us are. Maybe some of you are in your 30s if you're just like secretly watching. But after 40s, as estrogen begins to fluctuate, we've had this estrogen conversation before, and this, you guys love it when I do the estrogen conversation. You just do. I get so much feedback on it. And I think it's because it validates us as women. We're like, we're not crazy after all. Why didn't somebody explain this to me? I feel like that's maybe what happens with us. We feel very validated. Like, I knew something. I knew it. I knew something wasn't right. But they don't offer anything. Instead, what they do is they take your symptom and they go, oh, honey, you have anxiety. Here's a pill. Oh, honey, you're depressed. Here's the pill. Oh, honey, it's just your age. It's just your this. It's just your that. And we're like, we are not being listened to at all. So let's do the simplicity of the conversation. As estrogen begins to fluctuate, your insulin sensitivity drops. When you have high insulin, because your sensitivity is dropping, so now your insulin is going to rise, you can't burn fat. You're like, why can't I lose a pound? You probably have really high insulin and you don't even know it because nobody's running the test. So your insulin sensitivity drops, your cortisol rises. That's why we're so excited when you get sleep. We're so excited when you deal with your stress because your cortisol rises and your muscle mass, doggone it, we got to get some muscle going because it's decreasing fast. Okay. So if insulin was borderline high at 30, that was me, it becomes obvious at 45. Boy, was that me. Red flags all over the place. I was very oblivious. I did not assess my body. I just kept eating chips. I just kept eating my way through it because I couldn't handle the fact that I was feeling the anxiety or that I was sensing that depression that was so strong after my first baby. I just couldn't handle it. I'm like, I don't know what to do because I had no information. But this is why belly fat increases, your hair thinning worsens, your facial hair increases, your cycles get chaotic for people who are still have a cycle, your sugar cravings intensify like off the charts. And all you think, because it's kind of what's being insinuated, is I must just be getting older. Oh, honey, you're just getting older. This is to be expected. It's insulin. It's insulin. It's insulin. It's insulin. It's insulin. Carrie says it makes so much sense now. I know you and I, we are in the exact same boat. We just needed to be able to get around with our coffees and chat. We needed to have our own little club. It's freaking insulin, which is a hormone. And it's a fat storing hormone, right? Like, telling you. Right. So what do we have going on? Yep. Good morning, Lynn. Good to see you. Vicky said she's looking forward to great info. So tired of, oopsie. I didn't mean to put that up, Rose. I apologize, but hold on. You guys are awesome. Jody, good to see you. Looking forward to great info. Tired of being ignored and just told standard Yep. Information from your doctors. Rose, you have painful cysts every month. You're suffering every time you ovulate. That's PCOS, right? So just, you can listen in, Rose, just be a little fly on the wall. We're going to talk about how to turn back insulin resistance. I'm going to tell you exactly how I've helped so many women do this. We'll even do some testimonies if you want. It'll help. Your 16-year-old granddaughter has terrible ovarian cysts and one burst. Oy vey. She is very thin, but suffers in pain every time she ovulates. Mm-hmm. So this is very like, well, I mean, I think in my brain, I'm like, this is very frustrating because they're so young. And why is this happening, right? And then now fast forward 10 years. And the question is, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a fertility doctor, but my question would be then, is she going to have a hard time getting pregnant? Is she going to have a hard time? Because if this is an insulin conversation, and again, we can't blanket a diagnosis, but I'm just telling you, like, it just makes me think, right? So when my daughter, now she's had 4 babies, praise the Lord. She did have 1 miscarriage, and so she has 1 rainbow baby. But during her pregnancies, I was gestational when I was pregnant with my son. She was my second child, and I was hypoglycemic with her. And then when she got pregnant, she started having gallstone issues. Guess what gallstone issues are connected to? Insulin. High insulin, high estrogen, high cortisol. It's all hormonal. Like, but nobody's having that conversation. So she had to learn right away. Everything I teach here, she implemented, and she avoided having her gallbladder removed. She's gone through, like, her last pregnancy was, so proud of her. She kept that inflammation down, and she had that baby in 5 hours at home in a pool. It was freaking amazing. But you keep all of that going. You keep your body working like that. It was wonderful to watch, but I'm just telling you, like, this is that insulin conversation. So 16, it's like fast forward, right? My daughter's 34. What happens if they're having cysts at 16? Okay, I'm getting fired up. Hold on. You guys are talking to me. Patty was diagnosed after she had 4 girls. Wow. God bless you, Patty. That's terrific. Your doctor just said you have PCOS and didn't even tell me what that meant. Ugh. What are we doing? What are we doing? Is it because the doctor didn't know? Is it, I mean, we can't think that way, right? Because then we'd never go back. It's never too late to do what's best for your health. It's never too late, Marley. You got to go, go, go. You just have to do it. When we lose muscle mass, we lose bone density as well. Yes, Marla. Bone density follows. That's why, you guys. So I have my vibration plate. I have my squat, my little mini squat machine, because that's my goal, right? I've talked to you guys about this before. I'm going to build muscle in my quads this year. I'm going to build leg muscle. It's my biggest, and I have resistance bands. So I'm doing resistance bands, my squat machine, my vibration plate. Even though vibration plate doesn't build muscle, it does give micro muscle reflexing. You're flexing your muscles, but also I do a lot of balance work on my vibration plate. So I go up on my toes, and I'm flexing my calves. So I'm doing exercises on it to build my leg muscles, my calf muscles, and then go back down. And I want my balance to be good. And on Instagram, nowhere else, although I can do it when I get off, but on Instagram, if you put Amazon in the comments, you will actually get to my storefront on Amazon, where all of my little exercise things are that I've been doing. Because you have to build your muscle mass, because when you lose your muscle mass, you are losing, just like Marla said, you're losing your bone density. And this is like everything. And if you can't, who was it that I was listening to? I don't remember. But he was talking about how when you sit down on a toilet and you use your quads, you use your legs to sit down, as you can sit down and get up to go to the bathroom, sit down. Oh, I know. It was never mind, because I'm not positive. Inside of my business team, we have access to a doctor that I get to listen to. I'm super blessed by that. But anyway, I don't know if it was him, but when you can get up and get down on the toilet to go to the restroom, When you lose that ability and now you can't get up and down with your legs, this is when things happen. This is when not great things happen. I'm just telling you, like, you have to have your legs strong. So anyway, and your bone density is huge. You don't die because you broke a hip. The reason, I'm not going to repeat that because I need to make sure I have that information straight. But this is why we have a problem. It's like your hip didn't fall. This is what I've heard. Your hip did not break because you fell. You fell because your hip fractured. That is an interesting concept. Okay. That is an interesting concept. PCOS 47, Rose says. Yep. You did get a vibration plate, resistance bands, and you're using your granddaughter's weights as you walk. You're trying, Marla. That is like totally awesome. Good for you. I also added on my Amazon list this morning. What I did was on my storefront, I added the 2 books that I've been talking to you guys about because you've got to get your mindset straight, right? So one was Self-Sabotage No More. One is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. But anyway, I added those on there. Anyway, you had a doubt. Can you ask? Tell me what you're saying, because I can see that my comments get filtered on my StreamYard. So sometimes I miss these conversations. I just miss conversations. So anyway, okay. So let's wrap this up just a little bit. Let's put a bow on this conversation. So it's not like you're just getting older, right? So Dr. Hyman, Dr. Berry, Dr. Kiltz, these are the things that they do agree on. You need to lower your insulin. You need to lower your inflammation. You need to stabilize your blood sugar. You need to prioritize protein, and you have to remove ultra-processed carbohydrates. And that can sound overwhelming. I was the sugar addict. When I was this person right here, when this was me in my early 50s, right around 50, when this was me, my binge food was either salt and pepper kettle chips from Trader Joe's, along with like Milk Duds or any kind of a chocolate caramel. Like you can buy at Trader Joe's, they have little chocolate caramel things like salted caramels, so that you're getting the chocolate and the salt, then the salty crunch at the same time, right? This is me. Or go to a movie so you can order the theater buttered popcorn and grab Milk Duds at the same time, and you have chocolate caramel popcorn. I'm just being honest. That's where I was right here. Do you think my inflammation was high or low? High or low? Just saying. So that felt very overwhelming to me. All of this felt very overwhelming to me. All of it did. Changing out my foods. I didn't even know how to be like a supplementer. This organization, non-existent. I took ibuprofen and Metabolife in my 30s. Like, I was not a supplementer. So all of this felt very overwhelming. But this is why I talk to you guys about the way that I view things. And this is how I do it. So I teach 2 different things. I teach food ingredient trade-outs, and I teach targeted supplementation so that you can get your body to deliver you a different result. But it's the same thing with PCOS. So when you are trying to get down your inflammation, you're trying to get down your insulin, let me give you a couple of food tip thought processes. I was actually just talking to somebody about that this morning. Shannon, that's hysterical. She said, me too. Kettle potato chips and Milk Duds. Would you repeat what you must do to prevent PCOS? I will do that right now, Deborah. I will do that for you. You need to lower your insulin. And I'm going to go over the supplements right now. The 6 pieces for the total body reset. Because somebody just asked that too. Lower your insulin. Gosh, you got to get your inflammation lower. You have to stabilize your blood sugar. You have to prioritize protein. and you have to remove ultra-processed carbs. Okay? So when I teach food, I teach grain-free, sugar-free, and legume-free. Not because God made bad food, but because now we're in a pickle and we need to reverse our little pickle. We got to stop doing the things that got us into the pickle to begin with. Remember when I said to you, I was on a Zoom, excuse me, doing health and wellness like I do inside of like this direct selling industry. I show the business plan to people, right? Who also want to do their own health and wellness business. I was showing the plan, and she worked with a lot of very wealthy people out in California. And she said it was very shocking to her that this family, with all of the money they had, it didn't matter. They were still feeding their children like trash. Everything was ultra processed, Lunchables and prepackaged, and bags, boxes, and barcodes. Everything was ultra processed. So we have now done this, right? We give our 2-year-olds goldfish, and we start them on this just incredibly bad train, right? So you got to get down that inflammation. You've got to start prioritizing protein. You have to stop the ultra processed foods. So when I talk about eating real food, and we have a group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and I do a free challenge in there every single month. We just did one last week. All of the replays are up in the featured section if you're in the group. That's another thing that I should put on Instagram that you would be able to click on and get that information right away. I'll have to think about that. I'm going to write that down. Ditch. I'll write that down because then you guys can do that on there. But we teach food. But when it comes to supplementation, the number one reason why half of the total body reset is for your liver is because your liver regulates your hormones, and insulin is a hormone, and it just said lower your insulin. Number 2, your liver is your fat metabolizing organ, and it's the way that you are able to actually lose fat. If you have a sluggish liver, you cannot lose fat, and if you have high insulin, you can't lose fat, okay? You have to stabilize your blood sugar, and your liver helps to stabilize your blood glucose. That's why your liver is like, this is what I talk about 91.6% of the time. I just make it up, right? And the ultra processed foods that we've eaten, your liver is your natural detoxification system in your body. Especially for anybody who has already had their gallbladder removed. But even if you haven't, your liver is probably still really fighting for function. It's a very workhorse organ, and all of the seed oils and all of the high fructose corn syrup that can only be metabolized by your liver, all of these things. This is why your liver is so important. So when I do the total body reset, it's like, okay, there are 6 pieces to the total body reset. Soon there's only going to be 5 because one is being discontinued. Don't worry about it. Stock up though. I really do recommend stock up. It'll be discontinued in April because they're reformulating. They're just reformulating. Okay. So no worries. And I've always got your back. We do this all the time, right? But there will be 5 pieces. But for right now, so the glucose product, stock up. Get 2 or 3 bottles for the next couple of months. They're not even that expensive. They're like $26. So they're not like, $89 bottles of anything. So anyway, these 3, this is where I started when I was that 2X in size. I showed you that picture of me. This is where right here, this person right here, this me version of me. I started with these 3 right here because I didn't know what else to do because I wasn't going to trade out my foods. So insulin and sugars and metabolism and liver. Okay. Those 3. The other half of the total body reset then is the gut primer, liver, constipation, indigestion, like all of the things. You've got to get your flow going. Okay. And I know that when you have a highly inflamed gut or a leaky gut, it takes a half a minute. I understand. I really, really do. But between taking a gut primer, which is a gastrointestinal primer, like healing and sealing your gut, think of it that way. Think about getting down that inflammation. And it's very specifically coming in and with all of those fermented greens, supporting your liver function because you need to create bile. Even if you don't have your gallbladder anymore to grab the bile and to release it slowly, you still need the liver to create bile, and you still need the liver to detoxify your body. Okay? Like you need flow. You need flowing. Move that impacted waste. Move those toxins. Drink a lot of water. Get yourself something like this is 6 different layers, 6 different directions that it's coming at your gut from. Okay. So I just do one little scoop like this in the morning. It's very green tea. I always talk about that because I'm not a chocolate, or I am a chocolate person. I'm not a green tea person. So I put mine in cold water about this much with my aminos. If you're on my website, you can just look up Muscle Multiplier. Those are the sugar-free aminos that I use. Extraordinarily important for muscle, to protect muscle, to help build muscle, to do all of the things. But anyway, that's not my point right now. A little bit of water. I froth it up with my frother, just like this. This is my frother. And then I just drink it like a wellness shot. Okay, so that's what I do. That's the 4th piece of the puzzle. Okay, I mean, you guys, like organic and all the things. Organic. Everything you want done for you already, it's in here. I'm not a fermented food person. I know some of you are. That's great. I'm just not. So I'm not thinking, oh, I'm going to get X amount of fermented foods today, or I'm going to make sure I'm taking my prebiotic, my postbiotic, my digestive enzyme. Like it's all in there. It's all done for you. Then there's the probiotic, because you have to repopulate your gut. You got to do it. We just have a really bad microbiome situation because of our food supply. So these are 5 live strains, and like it's just a powder. Put it right on your tongue, just like that. Super benign in flavor. And then the last piece is the fat burner. This is the piece that people probably love the most. And it's a thermogenic. So you take this, it tastes like orange candy, but I sourced all of these for me, and then I share them with you. This one is out of the sports nutrition line, and it really does target your visceral fat. It really does change your body composition. So measure. Did I put this back over here again? I did. I was talking about this morning. Get a measuring thing and measure under your boobs, and then your waist, and then your hips. Super common to lose 1 inch a month. Do 90 days on, 30 days off. Okay. So that's the beginning of that explanation. But now I'm going to tell you how to earn money back for your own wellness thing. But I want to see who's chatting with me first. Vicky. Oh, no problem. What information do you want, Vicky? You just put it in the comments and I will send it directly to you, because you're right. Like I don't have a bot that works on my Facebook yet. So if you're looking for my Amazon storefront, or if you're looking for the total body reset, like you just tell me what I said that you want information on. I'll get it for you. That's what I do when I get done. 2 of your friends, Shannon, have had knee replacements last fall. Both are using the pedal machines while they are sitting. That's awesome. I love that. See, you can just overcome anything. You're taking notes, Deborah. You're amazing. So I'm going to assume, Vicky, that you're wanting the total body reset from your previous question. So Shannon, frozen entrees are usually full of chemicals and colors. The labels say awful things. I know. Sometimes it just feels like it's so overwhelming. Like we're so inundated. We don't quite know, where to go from there. But anyway, so let's make this super easy for anybody who needs information. And then if you have questions, ask questions. So my website here, I can put this on here for you guys. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. No, there we go. KirstenLiebelt.com. It's my first last name.com. It looks like this for the Amazon people. That's the other thing that I could put in there. I could put my website for you guys. www. Instagram's going to be like, you guys are going to have an easy street. So I'm learning. Look at me. I'm 61. I'm learning. So here's my website for the Instagram people, because it's not on the screen like it is for Facebook and YouTube. But Facebook and YouTube, here you go. There you go. Anyway, you'll see my face. Okay, you'll see my face. And then right here, that second button is the total body reset. You can read, it whites out on Facebook. You can read my story. This is my story. You can read my story. See some testimonies there. You can look at a 9-minute video where I'm a little more detailed in what I just told you. The cart is right there for you. Everything is there. I want it to be as easy as possible. Just because like a confused mind does nothing, and that doesn't help. Oh, that just came right off. Don't do that. There we go. Hold on. Marla, you're so awesome. Join Ditch Insulin Resistance and let them know Kirsten sent you. Oh, it's going off on its own. I can see what happened. I will do that, Vicki. I'll send both. I'll send both for you. And this is the group right here. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Just put in your email and then tell them Kirsten sent you. And then we do a free challenge every single month. I've designed this like program or this process, if that's what you want to call it, because this is just me sharing with you. Like if I had me when I was going through all of my transitions, what would I have wanted? Well, my answer is we go live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is our daily conversation. We're doing it right now. Then there's a monthly free challenge. We've done that for 2.5 years inside the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Okay. And that is where you are able to just partake. I mean, you don't even have to sign up for it. I just go live Monday through Friday and we do food ingredient trade outs and a tour of my pantry and refrigerator and all of the good things, right? And then the total body reset. This is very much designed to get people into the habit of a 90-day reset. 90 days, 3 months. But the guarantee on the products is 6 months. So you're going to go 3 months and still have 3 months left on the guarantee. Okay. So that this can be as low risk, no risk as humanly possible for you to be like, okay, let's see if I can get my liver function up, my insulin down, and my body to finally give me a different result. Okay. When you are looking at all of the products in the cart, you're actually on my website. Go to the top of the page where there's a person icon, Head and Shoulders. Click on that, and then the drop down will say register with your name, because then you're unlocking free shipping. You're unlocking the customer campaign that says that when you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off that third month. And many, 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 many of you at this point now, you do this over and over and over again because it's probably the only thing that you have found that, number one, is actually working for you, meaning that, oh, it's targeting your inner systems. And when you target your inner systems, you get a different result. But number two, nobody else is paying you for your wellness journey. Nobody else is doing that. But you can do that here. And then you have that whole walkthrough process, like, you know, daily, monthly, and then a 90-day run. Like you've got all of the steps that are necessary without signing up with a program that has a monthly subscription to it, that has maybe you going to a location that you didn't want to go to, that maybe has you weighing in with other people, and you know in your heart that weighing in isn't your only stat that you need to be paying attention to. Maybe there's something that just has a lot of processed foods that are already created for you, a bar here and a thing here and a here's your meal, all that crap. Like, you know that, man, if you could just get the key, if you could just finally understand some super duper basic things and get your body to function, like this was not meant to be rocket science. You do not have to have a master's degree to understand how to get your body just to turn around and go another direction. You don't have to have a $1,200 a month program to figure this out. You can eat real food. You can target your supplementation and say to your body, just like you would take your body to a mechanic, and you would say, I want you to change the filter. I want you to detail the engine. I want you to fill all the fluids. I want you to make sure that I'm getting better gas mileage. I want to make sure that that knock in my engine is gone. Could you deal with all of that? I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee and I'll be back. This is what you're doing when you are targeting your supplementation. You're like, come on, body, come on. We're going to liver, come on. We're going to stop being so sluggish. We're going to get you moving and flowing and going. We're going to actually target that visceral fat around your organs and your intestines that is literally keeping you so stuck you don't even know because you can't see it and nobody talked to you about it. But that visceral fat is alive. It is literally alive in your body. It is inflammatory and it's emitting hormones and it is turning your hormones upside down and then keeping them there. And you're like, why can't I make progress? And then you blame yourself and you think it's a character flaw or a character defect. And it never was. They just never told you. Basic biology. And so you've been hitting your head against a brick wall and you're like, I'm done now. I'm done. And you give up. You think I didn't feel that way, right? Like, of course I did. Of course I did. That was like the face of giving up. You know, you smile because it's a picture, but that's not how you feel inside. Like, come on, we all know this. We all know that's how we feel. Yep, done several of those groups, always left discouraged and sometimes gained even more. I'm sorry, Vicky. Yeah, I just, and I don't make guarantees. I really don't make guarantees. That's not my goal. My goal was never to be like, I'm creating a system and a program and a blah, blah. That wasn't my goal. But when you guys started sending me all of your testimonies, the medicines that you've gotten off of and the inches and the diagnoses changed in your charts and the reversal of insulin resistance brings the side effect of fat loss. When done properly, targeted supplementation and ingredient trade-outs, they literally change the game. It's not a gimmick. We're not doing gimmicks. I feel like that's a big piece of the puzzle. Like, oh, thank God, right? We don't need another gimmick. We don't need something else that's a really cute commercial with a celebrity on it. Like, shut up. We need something for normal people to understand how to live so that basically you have a different universe for your own family, for your own desires in your heart. For me, it's to travel without swollen ankles. And I say these things a lot, but they're just true to me. Being with my grandbabies, being on the floor. I spent Super Bowl Sunday on the floor with my grandbabies. Like, bring it on. That's what I want. So I have a lot of testimonies. Took me until I was 63. I ran into your content and started watching and said I need to start watching because I was pre-diabetic. Now I'm not pre-diabetic anymore. Thanks to you, your input and your content and the supplements. So total body reset. This one was after just 2 weeks on the total body reset. I'm losing weight in my stomach. My digestion is better. My cravings are going away. I can tell I'm actually hungry, not just craving sugar. That was only after 2 weeks. 90 days on the total body reset. Remember I said, give yourself 90 days. Lost 20 pounds, 3 inches off of her bust, 2 inches off of her waist, 2.5 inches off of her hips. Another one, I don't know how long this was though. I think she's at the beginning. I've had a lot less cravings than before and I've lost 5 pounds. I started the total body reset along with a keto diet, just had repeat labs to check my fasting insulin and hormones. After just 2 weeks, So this was interesting. So she started on September 22nd. And this is a text she sent me on September 29th. I started the total body reset 9/22. So she's a week later, 9/29. This morning, I'm down 10.5 pounds. Now, that's not fat. Understand that, right? That's not releasing fat. That was just her inflammation. So all of that bloating that you're feeling in your belly because your digestion is off, because your liver's not functioning, because your the inflammation in your gut is just so high. Like that bloat is really frustrating. I know exactly if I want to get bloated, if I want to be bloated, I know exactly how to get myself bloated. But I also know exactly how to live without bloat. It took me a while to figure it out for me because I was doing this on my own without you guys, without somebody like me, whatever, talking about it. But that bloat is very frustrating and it can change the way that you dress. You know, it changes your clothes. Thank you, Marla. She says, we appreciate you sharing the science behind the situation we find ourselves in and helping us understand the why, as well as how to make it right. Marla, you're amazing. You are welcome. Well, you know what? This is the deal. I wanted the understanding because I don't stick to things that I don't understand. I just don't. I'm like, why bother? I have a negative default, right? Why bother? Not working anyway. But that's my self-sabotage. Because if I can deem it not worthy of sticking to it, then I can finally just freaking quit. Phew. Like just quit, be done. I don't have to like stick with it because I didn't want that new routine anyway, right? I didn't want that pushback on the foods that I was loving and eating. I didn't want any of that, right? So that's just how that goes, right? This one I love. Good morning, Kirsten. I'm so stoked this morning. I measured and I've lost 8 inches all over. This is for somebody. There's better results now with this lady. And 13 pounds so far. My journey is slow, it seems, but it's not stopping me from reaching my goals. I feel the best that I have ever felt in a long time. I'm forever grateful that I found you. So, you know, the thing is that I really do feel and that was after 3.5 months. That was 3.5 months into her journey of the total body reset. 8 inches and 13 pounds. I do feel for everybody that it's super slow with. I know that I was extremely turtle. I was very slow in my process because it took me a long time just to even like trade out my foods and my ingredients. And I didn't really understand all of the components. What I share with you is a more complete process, right? I was just kind of I was testing and testing and testing and trying to figure things out is what I was doing. So anyway. All right. So that is a wrap for today. We were talking about PCOS and insulin resistance. And again, the total body reset is something that will target your liver, your gut, and your insulin. The 3 areas that you are not even maybe knowing that you need to target in order for your body to finally lose fat, to get your body to finally move forward. The best testimonies come for me from you when you tell me you're off of medications and when you tell me that your labs are better and that you have a different diagnosis. When somebody tells me they have an MRI that was a bad fatty liver and now it's a mild fatty liver, we've literally changed your future. We've literally changed your medical calendar planning. That excites me because then you can do something other than schedule just another freaking appointment. So if you're on Instagram, you can anybody can do this, but on Instagram, you'll get an immediate response. Everybody else, you'll have to just wait a half a minute till I can get off and go look. But you can put total body reset or TBR in the comments and you'll get that information immediately on Instagram, TBR or total body reset. It'll show you these 6 pieces with my story, with the 9 minutes of the explanation, with some testimonies, with all of the things. Okay. And if you need anything else, let me know. Like on Instagram, you can put Amazon if you want my Amazon storefront, if like you need to know about the vibration plate or something like that, or my magnetic like supplement case, whatever. People just want easy, fast information. And I get it. I'm one of them. Just give it to me now. Like, what's the problem? And then everybody else, like, I will go ahead and talk to you when I get off if you need help. But you could always reach out and get like Messenger, DM me and say, listen, I was on your live. I have a couple questions. Like, I don't even know if this is for me. This is what I got going on. Or I feel like I need to tweak it. I already have some of that stuff in my cabinet or whatever. This is where you and I get to actually like step into a little bit of a, a journey. Like, let's customize for you so that you don't feel like you are like just out there alone, just throwing spaghetti at a wall, buying, something because you were sampled it from Costco, or, you had an Amazon find or a Facebook find or whatever, or, you've got a friend that's doing this and a brother-in-law that's doing that, whatever. Like, let's get very, very strategically laser focused, targeted on what your insides need, because whatever result your body is delivering for you today that you don't like, you can get it to deliver you a different result that you do like. Okay. And that's what we're working on doing. So, all right. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you need anything, let me know. Otherwise, have like the best day ever on the face of the planet. So, all right. See you later. Bye, you guys. Love you.